So my name is Margret Bjarnadottir, and I'm an assistant professor at Robert H. Smith School of Business at the University of Maryland. And my work focuses really mostly on healthcare, but also some on gender equality. And then I do sports and finance as well. So I do data analytics basically. And I've been a member for probably 15 years or so since I was in grad school. So as an undergrad, I took an introduction to basically operation research as a class, and I just fell in love with the math behind OR. So from there, I knew what I wanted to do. Sure. So I would say if you think about how analytics have been kind of applied throughout firms, the HR department has kind of been out there in the corner, but nowadays you see a lot of work being and innovation really happening in the field of HR analytics or people analytics. So you see, for example, a lot of startups trying to better match demand with openings. So how do you better match employees with employers, for example. But my work has actually focused on the gender pay gap or any demographic pay gap for that matter. So if an organization is faced with a demographic pay gap and wants to do something about it, what should they do, right? So how do you close the gender pay gap? Whom should you give raises to and how much? So that has been maybe an active stream of my work for the past 2-3 years. We both have academic publications on this, so we look at, what are some of the unintended consequences of equal pay legislation. So what should we be, looking out for? Like if we are the government and monitoring, how should we monitor? But then I'm also helping actually companies apply this in the real world. So I have a small startup on the side that is helping companies actually, correct for these biases in their pay structure. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the most important thing is to work on something you like. Because at the end of the day, you need to do the work. And if you don't like it, Yeah, I mean, I've done presentations for Girl Scouts. Yeah. So, trying to introduce, these ways of modeling the world, really. So instead of talking about something sophisticated, we were trying to think about, okay, how do we predict how many scoops of vanilla ice cream we sell versus, chocolate ice cream we sell, right? And then talking about, how do we make better decisions and how can you use data? So I think it's just a matter of packaging, to be honest, because the intuition behind a lot of what we do, it's so intuitive. So a good way I have found is, put forward a problem and ask people to guess, what is a good solution? Like maybe it's a, routing problem. How would you move the inventory, right? And then you can show that, by intuition you get a certain answer, but then if you solve it optimally, you save additional 30%. So, that's kind of how I go about it when I talk to younger audiences. Yeah. I mean, I try to actually attend as many sections as I can because I feel this is an opportunity to because the field has grown so much and there's 80 parallel sessions going on at the same time. So this is really a nice way to get a feel for what's going on across a broad spectrum of topics, because in my research I'm very focused in certain areas, and I find if I shop around a little bit, often there are things happening maybe in retail that we can be applying over in healthcare. So I try to learn as much as I can. Yeah, but then it's also fun just to catch up with old colleagues from grad school. Yeah. I would say my biggest advice would be to find a good mentor. So someone to help you guide both the politics, but also being a female in academia. That's my number one recommendation. Oh, ice cream. So I have 3 kids, so they eat up my weekends. So it's very much just focused on the kids and doing something together. And so in the past month, it has been soccer. Yeah, so